second uncle, Tenali, your brother. Just want to go over a few things that I've been thinking about. Like I said, I always share with you what's going on in my mind. Uh, First of all, when it comes to the news, basically all of the news channels are owned. If you do your research, you find out that it boils down to just a few people, a small group of people that own the news channels, and they're going to dictate to you what they want. They're gonna portray to you what they want. So you're never really getting the truth. They may give you a little bit of truth mixed with some falsehood just to give it plausibility, but you never really get any truth. There was a video going around where basically all these news stations were saying the same thing. There's a video out there where you can see all these newscasters, and they're all saying the same thing. They're all in different states. They're all in different cities, but they've basically been given the same script. And I'm talking verbatim. I mean, I think there's even a chuckle or a little laugh, and they all do the same little chuckle, the same little laugh. And so that being said, there's a lot of news out here right now dealing with what's going on with this virus. If you look at where the virus began, you'll see that as big as China is, Wuhan's very little, and where it just appears like it could be man-made. This is what some people are saying, and if it's man-made, then it's bioterrorism, chemical warfare, things like that. Which is interesting to me because if you're what conscious to anything, you know that chemical warfare has been going on, in especially in impoverished communities, what they call food deserts. A food desert is when you have a community that has very limited grocery stores with full grocers, as far as vegetables and fruits and those kind of things. It's more of your Dollar Tree, your Dollar General, your Family Dollar, where you get packaged food. It's really cheap. And if you read these packages, you'll see these all these chemicals. A lot of them you can't even pronounce. Dyes, additives and preservatives, thing that your liver and your body's got to fight off. And so that's been going on with fast food. There's all kinds of Burger Kings and Jack in the Box and just a number of fast foods in your area. But there's not a lot of grocery stores. That's by design. And the reason that I'm talking about all this is because I was watching this article, or reading this article. For those who don't know, I'm originally from Detroit, and in this article they were talking about Chicago, Detroit, the Midwest, but it was basically between Illinois and Michigan, where there's a lot where the coronavirus has affected Black people so much that it appears that it is like a designer, like you have designer drugs, and in the future they're talking about designer babies. They'll be able to go in there if your child, if you wanted to give your child blue eyes and black hair or full lips or whatever, he could have a designer baby. Well, they would have designer drugs. Well, it appears that this coronavirus could be like a designer virus because it's really the amount of black people in the area. They only make up a small percentage. They only make up a small percentage when you look at the whole of the states. Uh, but the virus is just, I mean, it's run rapid in the black community. And I believe the brown community also. But I don't like, a lot of times you can't say black without saying brown. You can't say black without saying brown. And that is by design. It's not like brown people want to follow behind black people. It's crazy because that's kind of the only time that you hear black people being mentioned first is when it comes to things like, heart disease and high blood pressure. And they'll say, black people are more likely to have this problem or this disease. And then browns or Hispanic non-whites, and so we seem to come in there, somehow. So I know that Dr. Umar Johnson, who I think Dr. Umar Johnson is brilliant. Of course, he seems to have a thing against Mexicans. He seems to have a thing against so-called Latinos. But that's his position. That's his stance. But you can't help it. Every time they mention black people, they're gonna mention brown people immediately afterwards. If it's something detrimental. And so this designer, I won't say it's a designer, but it appears to be that it's just rampant throughout the black community. And it got me thinking that, you would hear stuff. I know that there's people like putting orange peelings in big pots and filling it with water and then putting a blanket over there or a towel over their face and breathing it in and saying this kills corona. And, people sitting in saunas and saying this kills coronavirus and just telling you all kinds of things that do it. And then you have the theorist. I don't want to say conspiracy, you know how I feel about that, but the theorists who are saying, look, this is more prone to hit people who have high blood pressure, people who have these ailments. Well, these ailments are prevalent in these communities because, like I said, you have the food deserts. They're prevalent in these communities because the communities are filled with fast food. The communities are filled with packaged food, food with additives and preservatives, MSG, and so on and so on. And so that takes its toll on the human body. And so you have these theorists that are saying like, no, this is hitting our community. This is hitting black people. This is hitting brown people. And it's running rampant, more rampant in our community than white people's community. Even though I'm from Detroit, 7 Mile, I haven't seen white people up and down Finkel Avenue. So there's not too many places you're gonna go where it's just completely just black. But that being said, it got me to thinking, why don't we take better care of ourselves? Did we have to wait until the coronavirus showed up? Did we really? I got 2 books right here. These 2 books here, How to Eat to Live, Volume 1 and 2, or Book 1 and 2. They were written by the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad, and they were given to him from God in person. And you don't have to subscribe to the theology of the Nation of Islam, but these books were not just written. These books were not just given to us. These books have been around for a long time. And these books promote health by saying, look, you eat one meal a day, eat one meal every 3 days, fast 3 days out of the month. These books are telling us um, how to rid ourselves of all the chemicals, all the additives, all the preservatives, and not even that. More than that, things like uh, I believe from reading the books, he really promotes a vegan vegetarian style of life. Um, but he says if you're gonna eat meat, he subscribes or prescribes, uh, like take fish. I believe it's nothing over 3 pounds, because of the mercury that's inside the fish. And I'm just giving you some, quick things in there. Um, Talking about what kind of bread to eat, how it should be cooked thoroughly, telling you what times you should eat, the best times you should eat. And really, eating is a result of work, just like rest. Rest is a result of work. You have some people who sleep all day and you haven't done anything. Rest is kind of the reward for working. Eating should be fuel for the body. And so this is what these books promote. And so I'm thinking, we were warned. We were warned. We were warned. And if you look, you have all kinds of people. Dr. Sebi, if you don't know who Dr. Sebi is, Dr. Sebi says all disease begins with the mucus in the body. The more mucus in the body, the more disease you're going to have, the more likely it is you're going to be sick. And things like the coronavirus, when you look up the symptoms are like kind of flu-like. You're coughing. The reason you're coughing is because you phlegm. Even if you have a dry cough, there's mucus in your body. And so Dr. Sebi said, hey, you need to get alkaline. Your body is in an acidic state because it's so much mucus in your body that you need to alkaline your body by eating certain foods. And he prescribed a very strict way of eating that even was pretty much stricter than this. I don't want anybody to think, well, you see, Dr. Sebi didn't agree with Elijah Muhammad. There's videos of Dr. Sebi. I believe he was an FOI. If you don't know what the FOI is, the FOI is the military, the name of the men giving to the Nation of Islam, who are military trained, they're military minded, and they're called the fruit of Islam. The fruit is the best part of the tree. Let's say you had an apple tree. Even though it starts from a seed, it grows, and you get branches and so on and so on. The end result is what we're all waiting for. The end result is the best part. The end result is what we're taking. And that's why they're called the fruit of Islam, FOI. And so, and these men and women, I believe the women are called vanguards or MGT, Muslim Girl Training General Civilization class. They're given the strict program on how to eat. You can't just be an FOI and be all fat and sloppy, because they do drill teams and stuff like that. And so Dr. Sebi, I believe, was an FOI at one time. And he even talked about the genius, in this, just the amazing mind that Elijah Muhammad had when it came to food. And his what Dr. Sebi said was that Elijah Muhammad knew that we would just not cut everything out. Like if you look at Dr. Sebi's alkaline list, it's very, 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 very small list. You're going to be eating the same things. And for somebody who's been eating Burger King, somebody who's been eating McDonald's, somebody who's been eating garbage, you're not going to want to kick that right away. you're not going to want to give that up right away and start eating amaranth and, you know, chacote and, garbanzo beans. You're not going to want to give that up. So instead of the garbanzo beans, Elijah Muhammad said, hey, let's start you with navy beans. The list is a little longer. And it gets you in the mindset of where your health should be. And my point is that we've been warned. So now I know that there's a lot of black people that are like, and brown people that are like, that I've talked to, that are like, man, you see what they're doing? You see how they're playing us? You see how they just kind of modified this disease to where we get it? Well, you were warned. You've been told. You've been told how to take care of yourself. And I'm in the same boat with everyone. I'm not my fittest. I'm not at my best. But ever since this coronavirus thing has been going on, I've been really like looking at health and what's optimal and thinking, maybe I need to get on this program. Maybe I need to, these men, what they're saying is true. Everybody I've talked to that's done this, of course, for anybody else who hasn't read these books or heard of these men, you can look up intermittent fasting, and it's pretty much kind of the same thing, where you're eating one meal a day, or you have a window period. I think it's like an 8-hour window period, 8-16, something like that, where, not 8-16, but a certain window period in which they're allowed to eat, and then they don't eat after that. I know people that have lost weight from not eating after 8 o'clock, and so it's got me thinking, like, man, I could, my face is chubby, I'm not at my best. There's a couple of lines here, but we were warned, brothers and sisters, we were warned about all this. So I encourage you to really get your stuff together, because you're a mess. No, you're not a mess. You're beautiful. But I encourage you to look into eating healthier. And think about what I said concerning concerning the communities that are impoverished, not just black and brown, but you have poor white people. I mean, I know some broke white people, and they're not eating the best, and they're going to be apt to getting this disease. So one way is prevention. We want to talk about prevention. It amazes me because I was at the store getting some groceries not too long ago, and there was this lady. She had a mask on. I mean, this mask was like, what's my man? The ninja that's on the ninja that's on Mortal Kombat. Anyway, that she had that on. She had a microphone. It was straight up. I know she could pull it down and start talking whenever she wanted to, but she had a microphone on, and I think it was her daughter with her, and her daughter had like the same kind of thing, and they looked like ninjas walking around, and they wouldn't get next to nobody. They were walking, and they, she was looking for a stapler, and I was like, oh, the stapler is right here. And it was like right next to me, but she went all the way around and waited until I was gone from that area. Now that sounds like she's being safe, right? But the reality is that if you looked at her, she was overweight. She was obese. And her daughter was obese. So yeah, you're safeguarding yourself by putting on this mask, and you got the glasses on, and you got your gloves on, and yeah, you're protecting yourself like that. But how are you protecting? You should have started a long time ago. You should have started protecting yourself a long time ago. And we were told these things, and Dr. Sebi and many others. I don't have time to give you a long list of people who told us to eat right. Jack LaLanne, But here's this woman who she was protecting herself from the outside forces. You know, the virus, if somebody sneezed or coughed or whatever, but did nothing internally for herself. Internally, I know she suffered. And she's probably taking medications, she's eating all these bad foods. There's no doubt about it. And so why did we wait? Why did we wait until this happened? And I say this because still, even now, there's still people not changing the way they eat. I was at Kroger, like I said, and this I'm looking at the shelves, and all the white rice was gone. The brown rice and the quinoa were still there. And I thought, man, you know, everybody wants to clear the shelves, but they don't want to take the healthy stuff. They didn't want to take, you know, the Doritos are gone. But if you look over, there's still vegetables. There's still kale. There's still spinach. There's still mushrooms. There's still onions. You know, fresh. You know, there's still strawberries. There's still all these fruits and vegetables. But when you go over here, the steaks are gone. And you know, all of the heavy red meats that are doing people in. I mean, some of you are going to eat it, but you know, for some people, it's you know, it's already taking its toll, and they need to slow down. But as I said, once again, we want to optimize our health. We want to be the best we can be, and that takes changing our lifestyle. And I think I'm going to start. I'm definitely going to start, and I'll keep a report on here of what I'm doing, what I ate, what I've eaten. But we were warned, so I just want to tell everyone and encourage everyone to let's change the way we're eating. You know, let's change the way we're eating. If we're going to protect ourselves, let's do it like that. So it's your brother, second uncle, Tenali. And, you know, continue to stay strong and be uplifted during this time. You're not in it alone. And I'll come with another video soon. Thank you.